Hey folks, Mike Dawkins from World Cast Anglers here, welcoming you to the 2026 Jackson Hole fly fishing forecast season. I know I've been a little bit late and tardy getting these out. We've been hearing from all of our customers and clients about when are you giving out your fishing report. So here I am, and here I am for the rest of the summer. So get ready. We're on the Teton River here in Teton Valley. Glorious afternoon day here in Teton Valley. Spring day. We had some cool weather move through earlier this week. In the past couple days, some new snow in the mountains, lots of high winds, but it's clear, crisp, little bit chilly. We've got water clarity pretty darn good here on the Teton, and some really good fishing opportunities coming up this weekend for you for the weekend of the 13th and 14th of June. Saturday looks pretty darn nice. High is 69, low at 37, lots of sun. Sunday, same thing, mostly sunny. High 70, low of 40. Going into our 10-day forecast, it looks pretty dry, pretty normal Rocky Mountain spring weather. It's been really dry, and if you've been tuning in to the news, we had a pretty dismal snowpack coming into this spring season. Our runoff has been very light and very forgiving compared to previous years. So I think the omnipresent message is our fishing is going to happen early, and we're going to get lots of really good fishing and lots of good hatches early, and then we're going to sort of have to see what our summer looks like progressing out. It's probably going to be filled with a lot of terrestrials, early mornings. We're just going to have to sort of see where our summer precipitation lands, because it's going to be a bit of a day-by-day thing as we look into, the end of our summer season and our beginning of fall. Palisades Reservoir right now, 42% of capacity. Take a look at it. It's probably the highest it's going to be there. Jackson Lake, we've got 95% of capacity, and very similarly, it's probably where it's going to land for peak for this year. Also, if you've been tuning into the news, we are going to expect those reservoirs to get pretty darn low here by the end of the summer and the beginning of the fall season. The Teton behind me, we got 608 CFS around Driggs, 1,140 CFS down there around St. Anthony. We've been having some really good reports of the Teton, especially from the canyon sections and the lower river, Dam to Hog Hollow. Dry dropper, mostly dry dropper fishing and really good streamer fishing. We don't have any really hatches to per se to report back on, but any of these sunny, warm days, cutthroats like looking up. So fishing a lot of dry droppers, fishing a lot of streamers, and we're probably getting ready for some of those caddis, yellow sallies, and some of the stoneflies that should be coming here in the next 3 to 5 days. Up here on the upper, it's a little bit breezy up here outside of Driggs, but I've been seeing a lot of yellow sallies. I've been seeing some caddis and some other bugs. Great clarity and great flow for small streamers like JJ Specials, beadhead buggers, things like that up here in the upper river. I think you'd be pleasantly surprised with the conditions and the water quality and the water levels up here in Teton Valley in the upper part of the basin. The South Fork of the Snake, 11,100 CFS coming out of Palisades Dam, 11,600 CFS down there around Heise. The South Fork has been a very solid spring option. If you've been reading any of our reports or what you read our fishing reports online, Idaho Fish and Game, interestingly, had some interesting data that are coming out that, fish populations in the South Fork of the Snake aren't at their highest. They're actually on a little bit of a downturn. But what we're seeing from that is we're seeing the average size of fish grow, and we're starting to see a lot of really big fish. So that lower density of fish is providing those other fish that are still in the river system lots of opportunity to feed and eat, and we're seeing some really big ones here in the past couple weeks. Mostly still a nymphing game, rubber legs, worms, blobs, pheasant tails, zebra midges, any of those Baetis imitations, especially on the upper section. Streamer fishing has been a little bit hit or miss, especially with the weather and the colder water temperatures, but we had some reports of some drakes and some dry fly fishing there on the lower portion of section 3 and a little bit of section 4, which is, probably 2.5 weeks early. That if we continue on this warming trend, I would expect those drakes and the salmon flies to start flying definitely earlier than you expect this year. But top to bottom, South Fork of the Snake is a solid fishing option for any of your spring fishing pursuits going into this weekend. The Henry's Fork, we've got 800 CFS up there Coming out of the Box Canyon, 1,370 CFS there on the lower river. Similarly, top to bottom, just like the South Fork and some of our other fisheries, the Henry's Fork is fishing pretty darn solid right now. We really concentrate a lot on the lower river during the late winter and the spring months, and it's been fishing really good. Those drakes should be starting. We're seeing lots of caddis, some of the early PMDs. Most of the stone flies are pretty much done. Those salmon flies, golden stones, and maybe some yellow sallies still around, but maybe some dry dropper fishing, especially in that warm river to Ashton section with the golden stone and your favorite beadhead like a Frenchie, a Perdigon, a Duracell. Some of the Spanish bullets will provide lots of dry, sort of scrappy dry dropper action. And then I'd also be fishing some parachute green drakes, to have some green drake cripples, and then your omnipresent caddis there throughout the entire river system should be in your box, especially in the afternoon, those warmer, little windier, breezier afternoons when those caddis start to get blown off. A lot of the willows and things along those lines can be a very good, sort of dry fly fishing opportunity there on the lower river. We're really close to the ranch opener coming up here on June 15th, but the Box Canyon is a solid option for floating options. Still mostly a nymphing and dry dropper game. Your rubber legs, your technical tailwater fare there in the Box Canyon will get them. Concentrate on different depths, different weights, different areas. Water in the Box Canyon this winter was pretty darn low, and I think there's still those fish getting sifted out and stabilized and situated in some of those summer lies with those flows. So be creative, bump around, check out some different stuff, check out some different depths and some water speeds, and you'll definitely find them up there in the Box Canyon or that Riverside Hatchery Ford area. The Snake and Jackson, 4,500 CFS coming out of Jackson Lake Dam. I know, I must say it again. 4,500 CFS coming out of Jackson Lake Dam, 11,100 CFS coming in to Palisades Reservoir before in the salt and the grays. So definitely we're gaining a little bit of flow coming into Palisades Reservoir, but not by much. It's almost pretty close to in to out. I would expect, and we've read and have the Park Service and Bureau of Rec have communicated that those are the flows that we're going to probably see here until the end of summer, beginning of fall, around 4,500 CFS to 5,000, CFS. I would think right around there in the middle of the 4,500 mark coming out of Jackson Lake Dam. So be ready for that. That's going to definitely speed up a lot of those floats there in the park. It's going to speed up a lot of your floats on the lower river. And it's just going to be a little bit of a different game there on the Snake for the summer moving forward. The Snake is still a bit off color. It's been clearing, and especially with this cold, clear weather we had the past couple nights, I expect the clarity to only increase. We may get another little burp of runoff as some of maybe this new snow melts off, or the last of our snowpack from the winter comes out. But when it goes, it's going to be really quick. So I would be ready with some dry droppers, some nymph rigs and streamers, a little bit of everything there on the Snake. Your dry droppers with chubbies and maybe a rubber leg or a heavy, Perdigon, or, any of those tungsten tactical nymphs in some of those slower water types would be really productive. And then your streamer fishing, JJ Specials, Crelexes, any of your favorite fare, over there is going to be really good as those flows and everything start to curb off and we get increased clarity while we get flows sort of tapering off. Is going to be prime conditions here coming up, maybe even this weekend there for the Snake. So looking at that, you've got Yellowstone National Park that's open, Madison, Firehole, Gibbon, those are all fishing pretty darn well, all things considered water conditions. Lots of caddis and PMD action there on the Firehole, probably leftover golden stones on the Madison. Dry dropper fishing should be quite productive in those stretches of the Madison. And then I'd poke around, the Firehole Canyon or Gibbon Falls or a couple of those other places and look for some leftover salmon flies and golden stones there as well. The fly shop's open Monday through Sunday, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. So we're on our summer hours. Stop in, get your fishing license. We're fully stocked, ready to go for the summer season. We've been having a lot of fun seeing all of our customers and clients trickling back in, from here for the summer season ahead. So stop in, say hello, grab whatever you need. And if you like these fishing reports, give us a thumbs up there in the comments. And for every one of those thumbs up, we're going to throw your name in a raffle for a free World Cast Anglers hat and some stickers for your support. And gratitude for everybody that supports our Jackson Hole fly fishing forecast this summer season. So that's all that I've got. Have a great weekend and a safe weekend on the water. We're excited to be back here for the 2026 season, and we'll see you here next week.